All right, morning team, morning everyone. Let's get us up here, make sure this screen's on. Hope you're doing good. Hope you had a good weekend, nice and refreshed and ready to go. Hopefully some of you got the weekly newsletter, those levels already coming in clutch. If you traded Globex, you should have had a pretty good session already. I did grab a little piece in Globex, not all of it, I wasn't home for it. Right, daily. All right, as we've talked about, as you would have seen, maybe you saw the short story I did yesterday. Where are we? High volume node for 2026. Okay, rotational zone. This is your chop fest. Right, we can't find acceptance underneath it. We can't find acceptance above it. And inside here, you have the 20-day, 5-day, 50-day point of control stacked. All right, so a very ugly area to trade in. If you trade here looking for continuation, you're probably going to get hurt. All right, you're probably going to get hurt until we get price acceptance above this, searching for higher prices, or price acceptance below this, searching for lower prices with the bulls opening up. Then we're probably going to continue to do this. We have earnings this week, starting with finances as always, and next week is where our eyes are really going to drift to. We do have Netflix and stuff coming up as well. All right, but opening up inside previous week, you can see previous week right here. All right, and we're opening up inside previous week. So another reason to think probably a choppy market. We move to the hourlies here. I'm going to pull this up. All right, and you can see overnight gap, very, very clear level out the newsletter. We failed previous day and previous week value area high. All right, we failed to reclaim previous day point of control. The gap came down. We filled the gap on an opening drive into the LVN. Failed to hold above the LVN, washed straight back, and then we went all the way down to the 600 target. We actually washed a bit deeper than that. Now, this is our RBS zone. We don't really want to be short in here, right? This is where we expect the market to bid out of, which is what we've seen. So coming into the morning, we're expecting rotation really. Now, the question really is, are they willing to hold overnight low? All right. Are they willing to protect 650 to 600? If they are, they're going to look for this drive. I'm not going to be playing that drive, folks. Unless I see huge sellers coming in here, I'm going to try and ignore that drive. What I'd like to do is play the edges. So while I am interested in this little part of the LVN here, I will watch 800. Where I'd really like this market to come and test is up to 900. 900, 950. I'd love to see some form of test here and a failure. If we see that, that's a clear rejection of value, and that gives me room from 850, 900 to look for the drive down towards 750, 650, 600. That gives me good RR, because the RR is really going to be like that. All right, that's what I'd like. Is the market going to give me what I like? I have absolutely no idea, but that's what I'd like to do. I don't really fancy being a buyer down here looking for that move. If we fell under this LVN, right, if we start to flip this and we see sell side pressure come in here, we can look for further downside pressure towards 400. All right, and then through there, we can look for these old lows and we can check out those newsletter levels and those put walls, which are much deeper. Right, and we talk about the put walls. Let's have a quick look at what's going on in options land. All right, the biggest wall today is down in front of 400, or behind 400, I should say. So basically previous week's value area low. All right, so if we do flip here, there's good reason to think they're trying to price in that market down here. Interestingly, high volume level and cool wall are right up in the gap, right where we rejected. So there is an argument that if we reclaim 900, the rotation starts back up there again. We don't really want to see that. I'd love to see this edge pay here and maybe down here if we get very lucky. Okay, no news today either, by the way, folks, but obviously there will be God knows how many headlines coming out of Iran and the White House. It's just, anyone else bored of it yet? Man, I've been bored of it for a long time. Can't wait for this stuff to stop. It's just makes trading very hard, especially in summer months. All right, ES. We can move this up. This is not accurate anymore. We've traded through this. We probably need to lift this up to here. Let's just zoom out of this a second. Give me a sec, folks. Right, let's put one up there. And another one down here. That's your big cool wall. It's a big level. All right, so ES, same thing. Found its bid down here. All right, 75s. That's where it's trying to hold the bid. You can see high volume level right here at 600. that's probably your rotation. If they rotate that long enough, you can see what's starting to build. All right, if they reclaim 600, then they're going to look for that upside drift towards 640, 650, or at least to close the gap first, which would be 620. All right, so 600 is a big over-under. It's worth watching that this morning. If pops fail over that, you're looking for downside pressure into 50, under 50, maybe a deeper wash. All right, spiders, very much the same. You can see gap's been left open, so we're gap and go potentially to the downside, but we're open at RBS. So there's your gap and go. All right, but we're at RBS, so you need pops to fail, and you need to get under RBS for downside pressure. QQQ. All right, there's your gap. So we're looking for, again, for gap and go lower. We are seeing pressure here versus 720, which is good. That's our old pivot. All right, as long as we stay heavy versus 720, we're looking for downside pressure in the market. If we reclaim 720, we cannot rule out that gap fill. Can't rule it out. All right, so 720, if you're playing the Qs today, is a pretty good over-under. Over that, you got 5 points of drift higher. Right, VIX, finding a bid off this 2026 low that we talked about, all right, pretty much. We're coming up to this high volume level at 17s. It's important what happens here at 17s. Right, if VIX drives and gets crushed back down, then we're probably going to go into a sideways choppy market. If VIX just keeps bidding and bidding and bidding and going for these 20s, which I doubt happens today, but potentially later this week, if they go bonkers, then we're going to see a risk-off market rather than a rotational market. Dixie held so far the RBS zone we talked about, so that breakout point on the daily, we're still holding it very clearly. Right, multiple taps in, first leg, second leg, failed to break lower. Okay, this is looking good for an upside break as long as they hold this, which would be downside risk in the market. Crude also finding a bit of a bid here. If we just zoom out on a daily, all right, we are starting to find a bid off these lows. Where are we opened right now? Yeah, I'd just be watching these 74s to 75s. Okay, if they find a bid through that, we have gap fill potential up here to 85. All right, MAG. Opening up inside, there's your equal, no, it's not equal weighted, that's just your MAG ETF. Inside Friday's action, gap down, but still inside Friday's action for now. SOXL, big gap down, losing the bid here. So that's our over under now, 180. All right, and you can see downside pressure. We'll be watching here, 170, big RBS zone. All right, so if they stay heavy at 180, 170 target. If they lose 170, 160, 150 coming in. All right, so pressure out, right? We're opening up here, all right? We want bounces to be sold into if we're looking for downside pressure in the market and alignments. Same thing here with IGV. There's your gap down, all right? Big pump up on Friday. There's your wash back in. This is your RBS zone. We don't really want to get short here. We want pops to fail to give us room. It's the best thing possible. Individual names, if we're looking at Apple here, looking good. Remember, it never has the same risk as the rest of the market when it comes to the AI trade, right? Because they're not heavily invested in it. They don't have the same kind of CapEx spend. So they're looking for upside drifts, back upside here. So any hold over 16s or 15s, they're looking for an upside move in Apple. Amazon, there's your big wash from Friday. All right, we're still inside of previous week's range. We're coming into RBS zones, but maybe some downside pressure towards 40s or low 40s, and then see if they bid out of it or if we crack this range. Goog, same kind of story here. All right, Thursday, Friday, Thursday's dump, Friday pump back up into this node. There's the rotation. Not much edge here. All right, that's what you have. Lack of edge. Meta, holding on pretty well here. Right, giant squeeze that started Thursday, all right, and then continuation Friday and range. Now, if they lose the bid here, I'd say around these 57s. If they lose the bid here in 57s, they can come right back into this RBS and we'll see if they bid out of that. I'm interested in that move there. If they come there and they hold and soak this week, I'm interested in a bid out on Meta. Microsoft, same kind of story. Thursday bid out, Friday wash, opening up inside of that, but we are above RBS zone, but an old range here. It's pretty ugly, folks. It's pretty ugly out here. Nvidia should be weak here. Yeah, weak. There's the gap down. All right, and again, RBS zone. All right, so we don't want to be sort of diddling in the middle. If we think this is your support, this is your resistance, we're opening up right in the middle. It ain't pretty for a Monday, guys. It really isn't. Tesla, all right, again, same story. RBS zone, failed to reclaim the famous 420s. All right, lower high inside of that. Choppy range, gapping down here on a Monday. We'll see if they close the gap or if pressure starts at 405. 405 to 407, I think you get a 400 retest. Crack of that, you're coming right back down into the lows. But we will just have to see. Let's just have a quick look at the equal weighted. Yeah, just ugly. All right, there's Friday session. Just opening up right in the middle, maybe slightly towards the downside. All right, so that as you prepared and what broader market is doing. Have I heard about Alpha Futures drama? Yeah, I've heard it. I've seen it. There's a reason I don't work with these new companies. Shiny object syndrome. I'm sorry you got hurt by it. If you're in the Discord and you do trade with Alpha Futures, I'll be able to get you a free Apex account. Apex have very kindly sponsored anyone in Flowzone Discord will have a free Apex account affected by it. They don't have to do that. That's out of their goodwill because they want to keep the industry a little bit better. But yeah, I don't trade with them for that reason. It's unfortunate. All right, I'm going to tell you this week. My wife is away, so I'm riding solo this week. All right, which means the stream's probably not going to be quite as long. On top of that, I have some pretty big personal stuff happening off the screens this week with family members. So I will ask you this week, please come to the table with some big, good energy every morning. All right. I can't be dealing with the nonsense we've been dealing with recently. Positive energy, or I'll be out of here because I simply don't have the time for it this week, folks. I have too much going off the screen. So I just ask you, bring that positive energy, please. All right. But it will be shorter sessions anyway. I'll try and get into lunch, but certainly won't be drifting through lunch. All right, let's see how we go here at the open. See if they're going to protect 600, 650 and give us a morning drive up here to get short into. That would be nice. They're already starting to sell this off, unfortunately. Turn this light down a bit. A little bright. There we go. It's a bit easier on the eyes. Right, nice and patient at the open. We can watch overnight POC. All right, we can watch this. Maybe they fade this, but I'd much rather somewhere up here is where I want to think about getting short side. If they reclaim this, we're going to go into a range rotating market. All right. Also, just like I said, be very aware of where you are on the daily. We are right in that high volume node. It is about as terrible as you can get a location. The much better location to short is up towards 30,100 right now. How many of you caught that short from the newsletter down to 600? Hopefully some of you got it. Hopefully some of you got it. It was really nice. You did? Nice work, Paul. Good work. I know some guys caught a piece of it. Some guys in Discord caught a piece. Some guys tweeted me or atted me on X saying that they caught a piece out of the newsletter. I got a little bit of the long counter trend, 700 to 800, and then went to sleep. Okay, let's see here, folks. 10 seconds to open. Good luck, everyone. I'm going to wait for either a failure here, but I'd much rather a failure up here. That's where I'd really like the market to come. We'll see what we get. Hopefully they can squeeze up. There's your instant rejection, a point of control there. Not high enough for me. And ES, we can watch that 600. It's a big volume level on the options. All right, Mag trying to find a bid here. Software trying to find a bid here. Semi's getting absolutely clapped. It's a shame we haven't popped up quite high enough for me to want to get involved here. I want to see a short here. Here is worst case short, but ideally higher. Did we sweep there? We did sweep the internals. Right, hopefully we can come up here and offer me a short. All right, here goes ES through the 600s. MAG continuing to push higher. IGV continuing to push higher. Hopefully semis find a bid up. And then we can see. Like I said, if it holds 650 to 600, there's potentially a counter trend squeeze up here. I will be ignoring that, but I don't blame you if you guys want to be playing that. Makes some sense to me. But it's not what I want to do today. All right, another big seller coming in here at 700 again, 130 lot. It's going to be hard if they don't lift this high enough for me. Semis at low of day here, turning back inside. Right, two big sellers now caught at 700. If they can't break under 700, you've got some sell side caught for a lift. They might come and repair this auction at 750. And maybe Alex gets his squeeze up to 800 plus to get short into. It's a 700 test. Remember, those sellers are caught at 700. If they hold the bid at 700, you do have some sellers caught. And then you might see that counter trend lift. I'm ignoring that personally. I'm trying to ignore that today. It makes sense if you guys want to play that. There's a setup there. Like I said, I'm sticking to my rule book. I know what I'm looking for personally. I'm going to ignore this long. But there is a trade there if they are willing to bid at 700 now. They held 650 to 600 like we said. They have trap sellers at 700. They can repair this auction towards 750 and come towards 24-hour VWAP, which is 760. It makes sense here. If they do lift it, I will be waiting for a short up here. It's just what I'm going to be focused on today to make my life a bit easier. And for goodness sake, please use hard stops today, whatever you do, because who knows when the we've done a deal tweet comes in. Right, back to the sevens. Losing the sevens, losing value now. Sevens is your over under. That's where the big sellers have come in. Semi's trying to find a push here. IGV getting crushed back down. MAG coming back down inside. If we reject 700 and 680, I might be forced to take a short here. I really don't want to. I really do not want to short down here, but if they start rejecting this and rotating this, it might force me to play a short here. Lots of bids at 650 at the moment. 700 has basically become our New York over-under for now. ES coming back to 600. Let's see if they bid out of that. Semi's just at the midpoint of their session. This might be very hard to trade today if they can't come to an extreme. I want to see if they can come up towards 7 and show me what they want to do. Semis look weak here. Testing low of day. Here comes the crack. All right, might be forced to get involved here at 670 to 700. There's a big buyer just come on at 50. Let's see if they punish him or not. Sellers are at 670. So if pops fail here versus value in these low volume nodes, I'm interested. It's a tough fucking trade. A really tough trade. Let's see. See if they pop up to 670-ish and what they do. See if we can get some risk on here. If they can pop and fail, trying to be patient. There's the 70. This is the decision point. If they go through this, they're going straight to 700s, waiting to put risk on here. That was a pop and fail. There is a buyer at the moment at 50 trying to absorb, though. I'm going to give this a minute to to sort of settle down here. Don't want to get caught. I want to see this what they do at 50. Yeah, that buyer's trying to support the bid at the moment. Don't trust this one bit yet. Right, big seller coming in here. Don't trust this one bit either side. This buyer at 50's got to leave, otherwise this is going to be dangerous around here. All right, let's watch here now. Here he is at 40 now. Okay, short now versus that. Now all pops now have to fail. And I'm tiny size because this is a terrible position. We did reject 70, but there's a buyer stepping in at 40 and 50. I'm very, very tiny size. And if every pop here starts to fail, I'm going to lean on this versus that little shelf at 60 now. If they reclaim that, I'm done and we just lift back up. It's very, very messy down here on the tape. This is like the worst location to be short in. If they hold the bid at 40, I'm going to take this off break even here. Yeah, they're starting to hold it. You got to flush 40 or I'm out. Terrible location. Silly market. Yeah, I'm out there. Take a break even there and just wait. Let this build out a bit more. It might be coming, but someone keeps rebidding 40 here at the moment. I don't want to fight him. Massive divergence. So ES is at high of day, pulling back towards 600. NQ's breaking low of day. MAG's holding above VWAP. IGV is flat. Semis are washing. I don't know if I can cope with another whole week of this. Some alignment would be nice. That short's starting to play now, but be careful at these 600s. There's definitely someone trying to absorb the tape down here. I took a break even. I didn't like my positioning on that. I was very, very light. I'm also up overnight, by the way, folks. So you see me green today. It's probably from that. We made 100+ points yesterday. All right, let's see if pops fail 40 now where those sellers came in. There is a big buyer here at 600. And you want to watch ES at 600, whether they bid out of that or not. And they're trying to already. They're trying to. The alignment's really poor here today. MAG now breaking out higher day. This is a really, really, really poor alignment day so far. And let's pop to 40. Now, if they sell that, you should see downside pressure. If they reclaim that, you're going to come straight back up towards possibly even 700. The alignment's terrible. MAG is breaking out. The alignment is terrible here for any trade. Terrible. And this is the RBS zone, remember, that we were thinking about bidding out. Well, I'm going to ignore. I'm going to wait for us to come up here today. I'm not going to trade this garbage down here. I'm just not going to do it. Here comes the MAG, just shoving and shoving and shoving and shoving. What's caught the bid? Apple. Apple is breaking out here. So they're going to come and test the previous day high here by the looks of it on the MAG. Remember, this is the shelf. If you look at the hourlies, we don't really want to be short down here. We'd love to be short up here right now, but train's left the station. This is an area where they might want to bid off on the hourlies. Again, ES holding the 600, MAG breaking out right now. Software's turned around back inside, and new lows on the day on semis. It's messy, folks. It's rotational. It's everything we expect. We don't overstay our welcome in these markets. We need clear direction here. I'm watching 600 on ES. Huge option level there. IGV letting go now. Right back under its New York Open. It's a shame. Train left the station this morning already. The short opportunity was at 7:20 this morning. Really, that's the short opportunity. Here comes the wash. All right, coming down to Globex lows here. Oh my God, ES just got hammered under 600 like that. Back to New York Open. Just like that. Everything let go in one go, other than Mag. Mag's holding on. Let's see if pops fail into 40 again here now. I'm not going to keep talking about Alpha Futures, guys. Do you see a sponsorship from Alpha Futures with me? No. Do you see me promote Alpha Futures? No. So what do you think my thoughts are on them? Probably not very good. All right. If I don't trade with them, I don't recommend them. So that's my personal opinion. If you got caught with them, I'm sorry. It's one of the dangers with prop firms. But I don't recommend them. I don't get shiny object syndrome, right? Trade with legacy firms or don't bother. Don't even know. Well, you can go on Google or go on X and have a look. They rug pulled a lot of people yesterday. They're trying to blame Ninja Trader and Tradeify and other things. The truth is they simply don't have the capital. It means too many people have made money and they don't have the funds. So they're trying to get rid of Tradeify, and then they're getting rid of certain challenges, which are obviously they're not making enough profit on, that too many people are passing and making money out of. It's the same old story every time. They thought they knew better than the other firms. They didn't. They got punished for it. They run out of money. They rug pull. All right, ES trying to find a bid at New York Open here. I'm going to wait to see. I'm still waiting to see if we can just pop up a little bit here. If we flip this low volume zone, though, we're going to come down for the 400. So the shorts were right today. I just didn't like that buyer on the tape around here who was wiggling around. Mag's still holding on pretty well. IGV now is at low of day. Semis are getting absolutely walloped. Absolutely walloped down towards the 160s. What we would give for a day where we don't rotate between these three sectors and we just trade a bit smoother. I'm just going to check the edge of this daily. 255. That's what I've got to remember in my head. 255. All right, let's see if they reject up here on pushes into these nodes. 600 to maybe 630s. Let's see if that is sold into or not. Can't even lift up there at the moment. Semis are just so weak here. We really don't want to short down here. We need this to lift up. We're probably going to come and clean out these 40s, but we would like this to lift up here and show us before we move lower. We've got to rotate this LVN and then come down. So we want to push up here to sell into at the moment. SpaceX tanking, yeah. Well, like I said, why is it worth $1 trillion when it loses $5 billion a year? It doesn't make sense. Does not make sense. All right, all pops to fail. That was the 600 push. I would have liked a bit higher here. So I'm watching all the way up to 30 here to see if they're willing to reject current day's value and force lower or not. MAG continues to look for higher prices here at the moment. So I'm looking to short a pop here if I can, and then clean out the Globex low, and then it'll be runners underneath that. Now the big sellers this morning came in at 40, 58, and 700. Just remember that. All right, ES finding a bid off New York Open and VWAP back through the 600 already, just to make it hard. There's the short opportunity. All right, I've put a piece on. Let's see if we can clean out Globex low. Here we go. There's Globex low cleaned. Now it's runners only now. If they bid this back up, we're not going to hold. We're running out of room here. Here's the LVN fail, 600 fail. paid myself something to hit. I'm just trying to see if we can get down to 420 here. But I don't think they do it in one move. We're running out of room. Here comes ES back into that same level. We'll see, folks. We're about to find out. Big sellers at these lows. Be careful. Hopefully we can break lower. I'm moving my stop down now to 50s. I want to protect that shelf we've just developed. And out on my runner there. Probably an Alex trade coming here, but there we go. This shelf here, trying to defend. They're going to make this hard. There we go. Added another good chunk of change here this morning. My entries are fast. Not really. I said, not really. I literally told you where, 600 to 630. Like, they weren't that fast. Right, when we were here, I said I'm going to look for a pop towards 600 to 630 and look for a fail, all right, and to clean out the Globex lows. That's what we got. So we only got a trade from here to here, all right, and that was it. And then my runners, I moved my stop down to protect this shelf here because we've reclaimed it. We've come up. Like I said, I think we're running out of room. There are big buyers coming in here now. The better test will be up here, and we might well go back into rotation of this range, right? This is the LVN that they're trying to protect. It's the worst area possible to get short higher time frame, which is why I'm deeply concerned, trying to be careful. Why? Because here's our RBS, right? This is the LVN from the last week. If they do this, all right, and they come back into range, this is where they develop range. And if they break this, that's the W back up. Where we want to be short is up here or here. It's just not coming up there in the New York session, right? Where we could potentially look long, which I'm not going to really do today, is fails to break down here to go back up. I'm not going to look for long because of what we've built out. It's just what I'm personally not going to look for. Like I said, you guys can look for that today if you want. If you're looking for that counter trend relief back up or to play the RBS, it does make sense. I'm going to stay short side on pops until we reclaim up here, right? Because I know we've now got buyers from, am I on the right chart for you guys yet? Buyers from Friday stuck. I'm not trading my accounts in sync today, that's for sure. As in, I'm not copy trading them. One by one, one by one. Added, I can show you. Added. Chunk more this morning, another $1,000. Oh, let's not give you guys the whole name of this. On my Lucid accounts, this is now up to $6,000 in this in the last few days. Right, another $1,000 there. I did trade last night, a few other accounts as well. I can just pull this up. Oh, don't do that. All right, there we go. All right, that's it. We'll just wait and see. Lots of buyers coming in down here, folks, at the moment. All right, we've got heavy delta. There are a lot of buyers here at this shelf. Right, if they break this shelf, they're going to try and lift up to 40s and value. And we can reassess if we do that. It's hilarious. Mag coming right back down. Guess what? Semi's trying to push right back up. No way. All right, these buyers between 70 and 600 are currently stuck. They need price above 600 to get their lift to 630, 640 right now. It's a rotation, guys. It is a rotation. If we look at, I think we still have it here. Okay, here's your rotation. All right, this is going to be semis, I'm assuming, yes. Blue is semis. All right, white is mag, I think. Is white mag? Can you tell me? You're not going to tell me. I'm pretty sure white is mag, and then green is IGV. Yeah, so green's IGV. This is the difference in the market right now if we go to a 15-minute. All right, semi's getting whacked, mag trying to drift higher, and IGV flat. All right, so that's the rotation between these. See how IGV's semis are now trying to find a bid while mag's coming down and software's coming down. They just keep rotating these three. What we'd like is to see them all in alignment. All right, that makes our life a hell of a lot easier than this shite, which we're getting recently. So the key at the moment is to be patient in this market. Remember where we are, higher time frame. Right, we are rotating this node. All right, and we've been here since the beginning of May. Until we find acceptance outside of this, we're going to go edge back inside, edge back inside, edge back inside. Trading here is very, very difficult. That's why I'm being very careful with my entries here this morning. All right, but if we break this, great. If we break this, great. But otherwise, right, we're still inside this. Just remember that. Just remember that. If you can be patient enough, we will get into a market that will do a move like this again. All right, it might be this way, it might be this way, but that's going to be our easy money, at least for us momentum traders. All right, you've just got to get through these conditions, these summer conditions. Just get through them right now. Don't force yourself. Be happy if you're flat or sizing down or whatever, but just get through these conditions. All right, everything's starting to sell now. Mag starting to sell, software starting to sell. Semis are trying to hold on, but they're at the lows. They didn't even pop up there. That's unfortunate. Can even come and test this. All right, 420 is the target now. Is there a way of getting involved is going to be the harder thing. Sellers at these lows, be careful here into the 520. Hopefully we can pop up and get some form of entry here today. Feel the move back to towards value area low 420 from previous week. So any pop up here that fails, I'm interested in. If we can pop up. Come on, that's pathetic. You've got to come higher here. We're running out of room for downside. You've got to come higher. You've got to come in towards 70-ish. Okay, interested here. That's your opening range. Ideally, a bit higher would be good for the short. There are sellers caught at the low, so the end of the bottom of day auction looks pretty good here. So we've got to be careful here if we're going to take this. We're going to flip this LVN, which it looks like we are. I want to get short up there if we can fail in front of 70. If we get through 70, it's going to test 90. If it gets through 90, my anticipation is we're going to go 650. So I want pops to fail up towards 70s if possible. It's going to offer me a way of getting short up there. All right, here we go. Waiting to see the turn. Here's the lift towards 70. Are you gonna give me a turn? Looks pretty good. There we go. So they've got a close under 20s now. I've got a little piece on that last pop-up. They've got a close under 20s now. There's a seller at the low at 20s. If they hold him, then the end of auction looks good. But ideally, we can extend down to 420s now. At the moment, they're absorbing this seller at 520. ES under New York Open. Semis holding on. Mag at pre-market lows. Buyer coming in here again. God, they're going to make this very hard. Here's the 70 test. Good rejection. Right, we've got to get under 40 and then under 20s here. Here's 40. I've got to see this break lower and it's got to come now. Can't be absorbing 40s and 20s here. The buyer here at 40s, he's got to go away. He's here again. 40 to 70 is a rotation. Through 70s, it's a cut because we're going to go 90s, and through 90s, we can go 650s. So I'm still short side, but if we start breaking through 70s, it's a cut for me. It's a very hard trade here. They've made it very, very hard this morning with the rotation. And they continue. IGV finding a bid. MAG finding a bid. Semis looking like they want new lows. Come on. There's under 40s. Now we've got to break 20s and wash down to 420s. That seller at 520s is still stuck. So much selling. Not really, mate. Not really, mate. There's not been that much selling since we broke 570s. Volumes died off considerably. There's not that much selling. No break lower on semis, no break lower on IGV yet. Mag holding low of day, looking for a print up to VWAP here by the looks of it. And the slop continues. Remember, if they break 70s, I'm done because I'm expecting then a push towards 90s. And if they break 90s, I'm expecting the push towards 650s. Such a hard trade how they're setting this up. Compression here. I think this is going to lift higher. My stop's right at the top of this M1 wick now. Kept me in just. We got to get back under 40s here and under 20s. ES stuck between its two VWAPs now as well. This is like for the last 2-3 months what it seems to like to do. New York VWAP, 24-hour week VWAP, ping pong, ping pong. All right, we're going to get relief here, I think. There's my out. All right, it's going to come up to LVN above. They're going to make this very, 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 very hard. Very hard. All right, I expect the 600 break to go to 640, 650 now. Into here. And we just wait again now. And if they are willing to hold the bid back over this, and they don't want these ETFs to sell anymore, they will try and rotate to 900 again. I know it's asking a lot, but it's possible. 800 to 900 is possible. ES looks very strong. All right, through that big seller delta, 900 lot delta at 600. Let's see if they hold the bid over sixes now and push all the way back up if they're going to try and ring fence this down here. So MAG coming back inside. Like I said, MAG looks like it wants to come and test VWAP, the midpoint of the range. Very much looks like it's going to try and do that. Software's finding a bid off the lows. It's right at previous day low. Semi's doing the same thing, bidding off the lows, trying to get back to VWAP for a test. Well, I'm just trying to leave this now to see what it wants to do. Here we go. There's the squeeze back up. There's the 640, 650, like we said, through the 590s. This is my expectation. That's why we cut where we cut. We don't hang on. We let this now decide. Now, if buyers are truly going to show that they're unwilling to move lower, they should hold this LVN. Remember, this is previous week LVN. This is current week value area low. All right, they should hold this and try and do this move. Maybe I'll be interested in that if they can pull back into here and prove to me that they're willing to hold the bid. But again, we have to watch what's going on here. Semis are coming up to test the shelf and VWAP. So I'd say semis into 172, 173 is important. I'd say IGV into 92.5 is important. And I'd say the mags into 67.5 is important. So buyers will need to step in here and protect if they're going to force this lift higher. Look at this squeeze. They said, yep, hold my beer, we're going. We didn't even retest there. It's just gone. I guess we did test a little bit of that node. ES new high of day, like that. Where are we finding strength? Imagine finances and energy. Yep, healthcare, finances, energy, all up, which is nice. Oh, it's leaving us. It's not picking me up. Remember, we're looking if we're going to get long for this. That's just a 100 points straight out of it. We've got to see this, come and reset this and hold it if we're going to get long. Okay, semis into that pivot we just talked about. They're going to have to make their decision. MAG as well, also into its VWAP. They're going to make their decision here. So I'm going to wait patiently to see if we pull back now and hold this 600. If they don't hold 600 or this LVN, let's say 595, if they can't find a bid in this LVN here to complete a rotation higher, then we're going to go all the way back down to a previous week value area low. All right, and this would just be a squeeze out to be sold back into all the way down here as possible. So this here is important. These buyers are going to have to step in here. We're going to have to see sellers get stuck here and buyers step in. Here goes. MAG's rejecting VWAP and semis rejecting. What did we just say? A push up towards 72, 72 and a half. Yeah, we just rejected it. So let's see here if buyers are really willing to hold this LVN here. Are they really willing to support 590 here? If they're not, I would expect new low of days. Very tricky how they've set this up today. Willing to bid here if we can trap sellers. Here's 590 test. This is important now. Now, if they can't bid this, then I would expect a new low of day. It's very important. Big sellers coming in here at the moment. ES back down to that 600 level. They're bidding 80s at the moment, not 90s. Waiting to see what happens. If we wash this, and I wouldn't be surprised if a new low of day. So buyers are trying to show up here. I'm waiting to see if these guys at 80s and 70s walk up and trap enough shorts. Otherwise, I think we're going to go lows. We're waiting to see here. Very, very patient. Here come the buyers. All right, let's see if these guys at 70 start to move up here and we can start feathering into a long if they do. They're still at 85s. They've moved to 90s now. Where did he last little get caught? 600. Every pullback into 600 needs to be held now. Otherwise, they're going to break lower. So trying to get long in these now. And we're going to need to break 640. If we break 90s here, then new lows. I'm still not long yet. I just need to see them hold this pullback here into 600. Right, feathered in a little piece. And we've got to break 640 and break out to the upside here. And I will not let it come under 90 here. And really, I want it to hold 600. Yeah, we're breaking lower here on IGV. Rotation taking place. Right on my stop there. Out. Oh, yeah. Ooh-ee. Ooh-ee. All right. Give it a chance. Again, this IGV suddenly breaking lower. Semi's trying to move. MAG going nowhere. More rotation to make life very, very hard today. Today's my last day of trading. I'm going to work on board, Alex. I've been here and learned so much. Thank you. Friday's put spring 1K today. Thank you, mate. Best of luck. Hey, nice work, man. All right, still watching this same trade, but we have some buyers getting a little bit exhausted here. And remember, the main break will be down here if they let go. Oh. Very tricky. Very, very, very tricky here. The main thing is semiconductors are holding on. It's very, very tricky. Sell the pop from 500. What do you mean? 500's down here, mate. We've not got. How are you selling a pop at 500 when it's below us? Well, they've lost 90s now. We can't be bullish now. Buyer's now stuck. So 590 now key. And we're into this LVN. This blue level is at the higher time frame LVN from last week. So we broke over it. They had the chance to support it. They can't. We're coming down to the low side of it. If they lose this, I would expect all the way down here. I'm flat right now and just waiting again. Semi's holding on. Software new lows. Mag looks like it wants to try and retest the lows here after rejecting VWAP. ES right at New York Open. The chop continues. The high volume node chop continues, remember. We don't move out of that until we break 250-ish. It's a tough morning so far. Yeah, it is, because we've opened up in an area we don't really want to be sellers at. We haven't pushed to test an area we want to be sellers at. And when we've now flipped bullish, we're being unwilling to hold on to the areas we'd want to be bullish at. So it's very, very, very tough. Mag testing a shelf here. Can't really do much here until we leave this area. This is now point of control. Come deeper than I'd want to see it go if we're going to be a buyer. We'd have to recover a lot here. And I'm not convinced I want to be a buyer now. I had the chance to hold. We'll see. Semi's rocketing. Well, they're still red on the day, mate. They're just trying to retest VWAP again. But yes, like I said, that's why I'm iffy on this whole market right now. Semis are just retesting VWAP. They can't get through it. IGV is at low of day. Mag's on a very key shelf, potentially breaking back down to retest low of day. It's very, very, very iffy out here right now. There is absolutely zero alignment going on right now. Zero. VIX is only trading 16s as well. It's not like it's trading 20s or something. And the compression starting to come on ES as well. Those VWAPs are getting very, very tight. This LVN here now important. Sellers will want to defend this, and if they can't, then we might do the move that I wanted. We've just come deeper. But we'd have to see it hold 595, 600s now. That 590 is really important because it's where all the big buying came in earlier. Low of day auction looks good. Semi's rejecting VWAP in front of VWAP. Let's see if they can willing to bid this in front of 590s. Maybe have one more go at this. If they can bid 590-ish. IGV turning around. All right, IGV turning around, MAG turning around. Maybe some relief here if they can hold 590s. Maybe have a second go at this trade if they're willing to hold. This is value area high for the session. Don't really want to trade here. Looking for longs on pullbacks here if they're willing to hold. Big buyer coming in here at 40s. We're going to go now, aren't we? You just washed me out to then go. All right, we'll see. Any dip here, if they can hold, would be good. Last buyer came in at 37s. Oh, mate, you're not going to let me in. You're not going to let me in. Idea was right. You went deeper than I wanted. And now you're not going to let me in. Why does the low of day auction look good? Because there's giant selling caught underneath value at the lows. This. Remember, it's opposite to what we had last week when I was like, the low of day auction doesn't look good. This is what you want to see at the low of day. Big sellers caught. That's a nice indication of low of day. Doesn't mean it has to be, but for now, we've left those sellers stuck with excess. Right, so there's been no acceptance underneath 540. Everything, all the sellers under there are stuck. Right, let's see if they're going to willing to hold here or not. Oh, look, Mag's breaking back lower again just to make it hard for me to want to pull the trigger here long. All right, piece on long here. Let's just see. See if they can protect 590s. This is fucking tough trade. ES rejected now. VWAP's getting very tight now on ES. I lack conviction in this. I'm going to be really honest. Semi's just rejected VWAP as well. And we got a print back over 37s here. All the sellers are stacked. 40, 45, 50, all the way up to 70s. Here we go. Come on. You got to get over this player, otherwise I'm going to get upset. You've got to get over this player here. We got to squeeze value higher here for the session. So I'm looking for the hold of this LVN to squeeze up to here right now, to 7s. Here we go. Come on. Trying to be patient. Got to find acceptance to squeeze value higher here. If we can't do it, I'll take the stop break even. That's fine. Into 20s. Tricky day. Yeah, it is. It's because the train left the station. The train left the station. It's very, very hard. Here we go. Come on. Can't move higher than 40s at the moment. We can't get that move. All right, IGV's trying. Mag is not trying. Semis are stuck at that pivot. If we can get this 40s break, I think there's a chance to get up towards 700 here. If we can't get the 40s break, then it's not a good sign for us. Come on. Here we go. Come on. Can we get up to 700, please? Don't like the look of Mag here. All right, I want all pullbacks to 640s to hold now. Looking a bit better here. I want 640s to hold now if we're going to complete this move properly. Here's the 640 test. Don't like the look of that. Come on, absorb it here. Good. Good. Right, got to get through these 60s and 70s. They're passively selling up here non-stop. Mag's about to break lower day here. For fuck's sake, mate. Stop fucking churning this market. We might come right the way down to 600 here, so I'm trying to be careful, these 40s. Come on. Can't even fill this guy at 60s now. Mag. Semi's looking good. They're at VWAP. If we find acceptance here, then I think semis come and test previous day low, which would be good for us. Talk about your stop getting run. How much did that? Oh, don't worry about it. Just slip me 50 points. Just slip me 50 points. Thanks, Donald. No doubt that's Donald. Oh, God. Why bother? Why bother? Oh, God. That's funny. How big was that move? Jesus fucking Christ, 150 points. Well, nothing's actually changed. They had the chance to hold this LVN. They've now rejected this on the last pop-up, and we're now in just a big D shape down here. They've just run me out there and slipped me, which is nice of them. Reinstating the Iranian blockade. Okay, great. So Strait of Hormuz is going to be closed again, basically. And we're going to come right back up to where I was. So you've just run me out, news algos, haven't you? Downside pressure now is the play to get down to here, folks. I don't know how we're going to be able to get involved in this, but we're going to have to try. See if there's a way. That same LVM we were using, let's see if they sell this back down. These candles are awful, so we've got to let this settle down for a minute if he's going to start tweeting and speaking. This is definitely some of the worst action we've had for a while. You hate July market, yeah. I mean, I said this. I've done quite a few posts about this. Look, it's summer months. It's why can't my brain work? Midterm year as well. Summer months, midterms, and we're back into Trump tweeting, pulling the market. All right, it's tough, man. It's tough, especially when they're doing the moves overnight, and then we open up. You know, the moves already happened, so we're trying to make slim pickings of what we have. It does make it tough. There's no way of me like pretending it doesn't. It really does make it tough. There's not a lot we can do about it. We can only trade what's in front of us and use hard stops. And when we get slipped 50 points like that, what are you going to do? There's not a lot I can do about that. We're coming right back to where I was, my entry was anyway. So just eat the pain for the tweet. So we'll see if they fail here. The problem is structurally, it's a very difficult location now to want to trade. They're chopping this LVN from last week, and we are just going to rotate and rotate and rotate and rotate here by the looks of it. Where's our last entry? It was up at these 20s. VWAPs are now flat as well. Semi's held on there on all dips. I want to sell this on pops, but what? I don't know. I don't think I can. I can't think I can. Structurally, I don't think I can sell the pop here. If 620 and 600 get sold into, I'll have to. Let these news algos calm down a minute. Remember, the blue box is last week's low volume node and RBS level. It's where we expect the bid to come in, which is why we were trying to look for longs once we reclaimed it and held it. If they reject up here at 600 to 620s, there is a reason to think maybe lower prices, but it will be alignment, but it will be a very difficult trade. Here's 600. Just waiting to see if they clear the liquidity out above here. Just chopping up around here again. As soon as that news started hitting the weekend, I turned to my wife. I was like, it's going to be the worst trading week of the year, I think. Low volume in summer with him tweeting. Can't think about anything worse. Why not get puts on that small pot? It doesn't matter if it's puts or shorts, does it? It's the same thing that we're talking about. All right. You have to understand where we're trading right now. This is like the worst location to short right now. The best location to short would have been if we came up here, which we didn't this morning. Remember, Alex said, one of you focused on shorts if we can fail this. We didn't fail it. This here is where buyers will try and protect. All right. So they're trying to protect the LVN. They're trying to protect this zone. It's the worst area to short, unfortunately. We'd love to be short here. If we can hold this, we'd love to be a buyer here. It's what we just tried and we got caught in a Trump tweet. So, you know, it doesn't matter what your way of doing it is, whether it's puts or commons, it makes no difference. Structurally, it's very hard to get involved here at this point. Anyway, let me just zoom in and focus here for a minute, folks. No more questions for a minute. Mag look like they want to wash. Semis are trying to break out to the upside, which is hilarious. They like, don't worry about any of this news. We're going to go the other way. And IGV is just stuck in a 5-minute range. Right, here's the move to 620s, and they're going to have to make a decision here. And if they reclaim 620s, then they're going to try and do the move that we looked for earlier to 700s. I now don't really want to play that. They've absolutely ruined the market with that tweet. Yeah, Semi's just ripping now. Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Exactly back to where we were. So they're going to do the exact move that I was trying to play. Just, Donald, you completely fucked it. Thanks, mate. You fucking knob. With your fucking tweets. Hold a fucking press conference, you absolute fucking imbecile. Be a normal human and hold a fucking press conference for this stuff. Oh, he's such a twat. It's unreal. Here we go. The trade's going to go now. It's fucking frustrating, man, when he does that. Ruined the trade. Here it fucking goes up to the 7s. Oh my god. So you just fucking made me eat 50 fucking points on slip so that you could get your tweet out, you fat fuck. God, it's frustrating, man. It's frustrating. He is frustrating to deal with. Right. If they're going to do this move, they now need to hold 640s. You're coming right back into the old lows here. New York opens here. We'll see. They might well reject this, but 700s was my target on the first attempt at this long, which was down here. All right, that would have given me 80-point trade. We'll see if they do the same thing. I'm frustrated now. I'm frustrated with him. This is like the worst thing to happen, right? When you're right, a tweet ruins it. You stop out and then you sit still and then it starts going. It's like literally the worst. You would need all dips to start holding here though, folks. All right. And if you manage to stay in that long or retake the long, you're looking for 700s here. Okay. You're going to look for this break. Bought 617s. Nice, mate. I'm frustrated now. This is, in my mind, it's tilt. There's nothing wrong, nothing worse than being right and being washed out on news for it to then go. And it's not like predictable. I mean, it is predictable. We knew he was going to do stupid shit like that today. But eating extra stops because you get slipped is harsh. Still think this wants 7s here. It's trying to get up towards 7s. That's your target here if it can get it. You want dips versus 45. If they lose 45, they're going to come 608, just so that you're aware. Be nice if they just completed this auction to 700 for you lot. Semis coming up towards high of day. They're trying to get up to, is that previous day's low? It certainly looks like it. Let me just check. Or is it previous? Yeah, previous day's low. They're trying. There's lots of sellers all the way up to 700. They're trying to fill you there. There's an imbalance down to 30 here, folks, just so that you're aware. And I think you can trade all the way down to 89.90 again if they're going to chop this around, just to be careful. I don't think they've finished shoving it. It's just how low they want to take it first. Previous day low here as well. That green line on your screen, this is previous day low. So if we get back inside that, we go inside of yesterday's candle, which means we're back inside. So we failed to break lower. And then I think the 700 to 710 test would be important. And then you can sell up. You basically, the long was basically what we were looking for was, right? This is a reclaim of previous week's low volume node. This was the hold. This was the long hold proving it. This is where we were long looking for this. This is the extra stops that we took, unfortunately. This is the target, then this, and then if they really sent it all the way up here, and up here is where I want to get short. Here it comes. Salty. Salty. You fucking prick. Oh. Oh. What are you gonna fucking do? What are you gonna do? Oh my god. All right, TP's here. TP's here. Ay caramba. Ay caramba. There you go. All right, all the way up now. So your runners now into 50s, and if you get acceptance through that, then there's a stop hunt through 50s, and we can start getting going. All right, and then you're looking for 800s, like I said, 800s to 900s possible once the buyers step in at the lows. This is what they've just done. Oh, man. Well, this was the trade. All right, next target. I'd be watching the 180 level on semis if they get up there. Right, IGV currently rejecting New York Open. You want to have trimmed most of your profit here, folks. You have to have trimmed a good chunk of your profit here. Honestly, I'm probably going to have wait for this giant squeeze out and then get short the other way of it. There's no tweet was a bluff. There's I'm not going to respond to that. That's just, you're talking nonsense. It's got nothing to do with like the tweet was a bluff or anything like that. Doesn't matter like what the tweet is. All that matters is where we wanted to go. We knew where we wanted to go. The tweet ruined the trade. That's it. Yeah, because we were long here for this, all right, and then my stop was here, and I think it filled me 50 points lower. So like, I just got wrecked in that, unfortunately. And this was TP, and your next TP's here. I don't know if I want to have another go at this now. Need to wait for the stop hunt up here and then get short when it's ready. I think probably the safest thing to do now. Let it grind up, let it get aggressive, and then short once it's finished. Next target, well, basically a New York higher day. So I'd be watching 735 to 750. Once you pop 750, you probably get a little stop run to 758 and then potentially up to 800. All right, but you should have paid yourself. Most of the money was into 700 to 720. That was the high probability area for the market to come into. We've done that move. I just need to have a break for a minute. This is, you know, I am human after all. It's frustrating. The most frustrating thing was when you're right and something like that happens. Correct bias. We wanted to be short down to the blue box. If we failed under the blue box, we're short down to here. If we reclaim blue box and hold, we're long back up for relief. Again, this is all coming from the hourlies, right? So I can show you why. Right, this was the structure today. Unfortunately, this is where we opened, right? The shorts, right, are full rejection of this down to here. This is quite clearly a shelf, right? Resistance, 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 support, support, breakover. We don't want to be short in the blue box. It's very, very simple, right? It's a very, very key level here. You can see it many, 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 many times. We don't want to be short in there, all right? So we don't just want to long for no reason in there. So what we wait for is a pattern in there to say that we're getting ready for relief. That's what we actually try to long, right? What we tried to long was the pattern. There it is. You see this, right? For relief. And then our favorite friend went and destroyed it for us before it went and just redid that whole thing again. So now we just wait patiently. I'm pulling a hand to go and watch for a bit. I mean, it was a pretty piss poor game. Wasn't a great game. Don't think we played well. Don't think they played. I mean, they probably over exceeded. I mean, their goals were complete fluke. That guy celebrating his attempt to cross like he meant to put it in. Get the fuck out of here, mate. Never in a million years did he mean to do that. But we're through, and that's all that matters. That's all that matters. The RGs are about as lucky as you get. They are not a great team. They are really not a great team. But what's worrying is when a great team keeps a team not playing well keeps winning. That's a worry. That is a worry with the RGs. It's obviously not luck. So what is it? Corruption. They did get lucky. I mean, that red card, they got lucky that red card got given. Very lucky. Some of the reffing has been woeful. Am I still waiting? Yeah, I'm going to wait. I'm not going to long this. I'm going to let it go as relief as far as it wants before I think about the short. I'm going to let this try and squeeze out higher. I've missed the long opportunity. Well, I was in it. Got stopped out the long opportunity. I'm waiting now. I want to see what semis are going to do here. Can they hold the bid? It doesn't look like it. They're going to come back down towards VWAP. I'm going to see if semis want to hold the bid at VWAP. At the moment, they're rejecting previous day's low. All right, I'm watching software. Same kind of thing. It's right on New York Open. MAG does not look particularly strong right now. So I'm just like, I don't want to get churned around. I've already eaten a much bigger stop than anticipated on a wash. You know, it is what it is. Mate, Argentina are really not very good. Like, they're not. Go and look at the play. Look how many goals they've conceded and look at the teams they've played against. Don't tell me they're a good team. They're not. They're so reliant on one or two players. I mean, if Alvarez doesn't score a wonder goal, they're out. If the red card doesn't happen, they're out. Certainly if Messi doesn't play well for a game or just has a quieter game, they're out. Because their defense is a fucking joke. It's that bad. Right, they're still bidding value area high here at the moment. This is starting to get real washy. The book is starting to get really, really weird here. I want this to move higher. I would really like them to just bid this up, do a giant squeeze out, and then we can get short once they've finished playing silly buggers. If they can't hold value, then we go rotation back down to this node again, right? So if they can't find the bid here, 655, which is current weak point of control. This is the most traded level since the Sunday Open. Let that sink in. All right, if they can't do this, then they're going to rotate back down again. I want them to do this because I really want them to come up here for me to short at the moment. It's going to be the main thing I'll probably look for today. Semi's holding in front of VWAP. IGV holding. Let's see if MAG finds a bid here. And gets back to VWAP on the MAG. It would be nice. I think the whole world, unless you're Argentinian or just you love Messi, which shouldn't give you reason, then you should agree with what I'm saying. I mean, any neutral football fan can look at them and be like, look at the goals they've conceded. All right, here it goes. Hopefully it can keep squeezing higher now. So it's a good hold of point of control from current week. Hopefully they can get up here and then gives us a trade up there. If you want to get long here and you're looking for that, I totally understand. It's not what I'm going to look for. I'm going to wait. Semiconductors keep rejecting previous day low. The reason I'm waiting is I want it to come to an extreme now. I want it to come to an extreme before I think about doing anything else. They already have the Falkland Islands. I hate all that stuff. I hate all the politics being brought into sport. It's so fucking stupid. Yeah, I saw that the media trying to make it out like Tuchel and Jude are against each other. It's such nonsense. It's such nonsense. He's the best coach we've had in England for as long as I can remember. And he speaks the honest truth. It's the right thing to do. Did we play well? Clearly we didn't play well. We were garbage. We were weak at the back. We were soft. We panicked. when we needed to control possession in the mid once we were up, we failed to do it. You know, it's unfortunate. Once he bought Rice off, Rice has obviously been very, very sick in the week. It was left to Anderson to clean up the midfield. You needed someone like Jordan Henderson on just to do that job of cleaning up the midfield. Eze doesn't really do that job. Madueke had an awful game. Saka doesn't do that job. Reece James came on. He doesn't really do that job. So it just... We missed Hendo for the first time in the whole tournament. And he's obviously got no faith in what's his name from United, who's had no minutes. Kobe. 0. Okay, down to this imbalance. Here comes the wash. Semis back down to VWAP. So it's just dependent whether they're going to bid this VWAP on semis now. No, they're not letting go, mate. They're not letting go. Like, look. They're not letting go. Right? They're just coming for a retest. Right? There's a difference. See? All right. Fail to move lower. There's your pivot. All right. If they let go, they're going to move under this and reject for that wash, right? But this, they're coming back to safety, aren't they? They're coming back to VWAP. Think about this. Support, resistance. This area here is your over-under, all right? If you lose this, I think we can say they're letting go to wash everyone out. If they keep absorbing this, they're going to keep trying to come up to upside. That's previous day low. So at the moment, all I'd say is they've rejected, all right, previous day low. But they can still find a bid here. And that's why it's very, very hard today with where everything's opened. Thank God I don't link my accounts when the action's shit. Otherwise, I would have got absolutely whacked on that move. Would be like $20,000 down. Back down to this LVN. So just remember, this is previous week LVN. It's also, you can see here, current day. This is basically giving our sentiment for the day. Like, this is the battle. Can buyers hold this, or do sellers try and take control? I don't really want to trade around here. I'm scared to trade around here after I got wrecked. I don't regret, right? I don't regret that trade. If we look at the structure of what I traded, that was a good setup. All right. The low was in. Remember, the auction at the low looked good. We held a higher low. We held the pivot. We had confirmation. The squeeze was set. I don't regret that move. We can't predict that. It's just, it sucks. It's the suckiest part of trading. I got away with it last week. I wasn't in the... Was it a long or short? I can't remember when Trump tweeted last week. A lot of you got really hurt in it. I wasn't in that one, but I was certainly in that one there. I'm going to show you right here. We went ouchie on that. Ouchie, ouchie, ouchie. All right, flipped this. This is nicely green now. Took a fat red on it. No, I'm down on one account today. Not down, just down on one account. So this LVN, this VWAP, semis letting go of their VWAP-ish, or at least they're doing the VWAP dance for now. Weakness here. Weakness here. Looks like ES wants the low. Yeah, it does. You don't want to chase it, though. You'll need like pops here to be sold into. We're just in a big range here, remember. We're not seeing acceptance outside either side of this. And just keep zooming out. I'm just going to keep reminding you. Right, I'm going to keep reminding you. Where are we on the daily? What are we churning on the daily? Look at today's candles. Right? What are we churning on the daily? Yeah, this is our churn level. What are we doing on the hourly? And keep reminding you, because hopefully it'll keep you safe. This is where we are on the hourly. Where do we keep absorbing? Think about the structure on the hourly. All right, that's where we are. Right, and the churn is all the way down here. What's the top side of this? To 3183. This is the high volume node. All right, on the current year. Okay, so just keep reminding yourself, this is where we are. They're still holding LVN from previous week. They're still holding RBS from previous week. And they've also now started trying to hold it in current day. All right, this is, nothing's changed here. Don't be too biased looking for the short, right? In a poor area. It's a poor area to look for the short in. That's why I'm trying to let the market come up here. It might be wishful thinking and it might not come up there, but that's where I'd like to get short is up here. It's a much better area to get short. We are now starting to shift and we're holding this LVN over and over again now. All right, Semi's still doing that VWAP dance, folks. IGV's trying to push higher. MAG would like to come and retest VWAP if it can get through some key areas, and we are still just churning. I'm still just flat. Learning volume profile, watch one of the vids. Nice, man. Nice, nice, nice. Remember, we just got to get through this week. This week's going to be tough. Next week, we get into like all the earnings that we want to see. I think we'll probably get a break out of the range then. And as we start to get closer to September, we'll start to see the volume pick up again. Yeah, well, it's the same on NQ. Big sellers at the lows. That's why, I mean, right, so before we got washed out, look at these big sellers at these lows. Trapped, 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 trapped. Why we wanted to get long for the push, and then, of course, we get the Trump candle. But like I said, I don't regret the trade. It was the correct setup. It was the correct trade. I had a stop in place. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? I'm not going to hurt myself. Like I should be rewarding myself for the correct trading. It's just unfortunate. Yeah, SpaceX getting nuked. Like I said, SpaceX can come down to 70, mate. Called it the whole, like, cool. I've said it the whole time. I just don't get it. Do not get it. All right, ES coming back towards VWAP here. Semis holding VWAP as well. So they're still holding RBS and VWAP. The churn continues. MAG's finding a bid towards its VWAP like I just talked about. So it's now confirmed a higher low and it's going to try and drive up towards the VWAP on the MAGs. So if pullbacks start to hold here, they might try and get that squeeze that we've talked about. If MAGs rejects VWAP, that would be fairly decisive, I would say. I would just really love this to just squeeze higher today. Here it comes. They're going to try. This is your New York Open. That's key. If you get through here, I think you're going to go 740s, 750s. I would love them to do this. It's not because I'm long. It's because it just opens up a better trade location for us. All right. Bit of front running in front of VWAP from the MAG. We are at VWAP ourselves now. They're bidding 75 and 65. They would like to fill these guys higher, I think. So you'd want 60s to bid here and then them to complete this auction higher. That's what will really help this market move. Previous day low. If they can hold previous day low, here they go. They're going to try. And 710s, 730, 740, 750 would be your targets on a squeeze out. And then we'll see if it can come anywhere up here. It will perk my interest for a trade. You went on tilt, FML, after you got burned. Yeah, you see how I went on tilt and I did nothing since. That's just learning your lessons, mate. All right, I didn't feel tilt here, even though it ran me out massive. Where I felt tilt was when it completed the move I was looking for. And I've done nothing since because I need to let everything calm down, sensibility come into my mind. This is not gambling, this is a job. Right? It's not gambling, it's a job. If we come over here again, I'll move this up a little bit for you. You see how we're getting tighter in these now? All right, semis trying to claw their way back. All right, we're still going sort of sideways on IGV and on MAG. I'm just going to patiently wait. Love this to squeeze higher so I can get short. Yeah, exactly. If it wasn't for the tweet, I would have made some good money on it. I would have made 100 points on it or so. It was long from here up to here. It would have been, I don't know, 80 points or something. But we didn't. Remember, our job, manage risk. Lots of volatility coming this week. We've got lots of news incoming this week. Right, if we have a look, what day is it today? Get through today. Tomorrow, we've got CPI. And we've got some Fed talk. Wednesday, we've got PPI and more Fed talk. Thursday, we've got jobless claims and retail sales. That would be interesting. And Friday, we've got consumer sentiment and import prices. And it's OPEX. I'm pretty sure it's an OPEX week. I'll double check that. And then what else? And then obviously the Iran news. Hey, Alex, new subs here. What level to enter long or shorts here? Tell me you're new without telling me you're new. Mate, there's not a whole lot to do in here, okay? At the moment, like I keep talking about, the daily, all right, we're in a rotation. You need to wait for an edge, all right? Edges pay in rotations. Back into mean, back into mean, back into mean, back into mean. That's what I'm waiting for. I'm waiting for an edge. All right, we tried the longs out of it. We got caught. From the hourly, we are without a doubt holding this RBS very, very well and trying to reclaim previous week LVN. If we can hold LVN, we might see this. If we see this, we can probably short back down. All right, we're inside. If we just think about this, we're inside previous week's value. We're outside previous day's value. So there's possibly a short down here, but we haven't retested that level for me to want to get short. We tried the longs here, or sorry, it was here, and got caught in the Trump tweet. There's not a whole lot to do here right now. If we look at the lower time frame at the moment, right, we're inside of initial balance. Here's your profile. Right, they're protecting the low volume node, which is bullish. So lower time frame, LVN is being protected for now. Higher time frame, this is higher time frame, the blue box. Higher time frame, LVN is also being protected for now. So you could argue you're bullish versus 600 for a rotation to 700, 750, 800. All right, maybe even 900. You could argue that. It's less than ideal. I've already had a go at it. I'm unwilling to play it at the moment. At the moment, more than anything, we're in a rotational market. Let semis now struggling over VWAP. IGV new high of day here. MAG trying to come up to its VWAP here. All right, we are Nothing's changed here. I know you're new. Nothing's changed here from any other day that we've been here. This market is in a rotation right now. All right, it's in a rotation. I'm going to move it to a 5 minute just quickly. All right, here's your MAG coming up to test VWAP. All right, so neutral, New York Open and VWAP, neutral. Here's your IGV. All right, trying to break out above New York Open and VWAP, trying to get up here. So this is your software. Here's your semiconductors. Trapped. All right, washed to the low, held higher lows, pushed up to previous day low, failed previous day low, can't get above New York Open, now stuck at VWAP. All right, stuck in here. We lack edge. We lack edge right now to take a trade. The best thing, in my mind, the best thing we can do right now is just sit still. Like, if you want to be long versus this blue box and this LVN, sure, like, try it. I'm going to wait. I'm going to try and wait for the market to come somewhere up here. How do you anchor the VWAP to New York Open? You do exactly what you just said. You anchor it. So you come over here, forecasting, anchored VWAP, and then you click on the 9:30 open. No worries. Yeah, we have earnings. When's TSMC? Is it Wednesday morning or Thursday morning? I did put it in the newsletter. I've forgotten already. Let me have a look. Thursday morning. And then Netflix after close Thursday evening. ASM Wednesday morning. But I think TSMC will be the big one. That'll be the big one, in my mind. Right, MAG back to VWAP here. Semis back to VWAP here. Can they complete this auction and run all these stops out? Basically the question you're asking. Can they get through the New York Open, complete the auction, run all the stops out, 7:30 to 7:50? All depends if they can find acceptance. And they're trying to get up here to run the stops. Big seller coming in here. If you're bullish, you just want to see this squeeze out now, and you want to be locking in. So if you bought this LVN down here, you want to see this squeeze higher. You want to move your stop into the money, and then just try and hope that it can break 750 and start getting really going for you on a squeeze. And you're going to need to see alignment here. MAG are right into VWAP here. So MAG is about to make its decision for the day. IGV is looking pretty good. Semis are at VWAP as well. Yeah, the daily profile, 2026 profile. I have two profiles for the higher time frame, right? If I bring you over. All right, so this is Jan 1st, from Jan 1st, this big one, and this is from this range. All right, so you see in this range, we're just rotating. We're not moving outside of value. Remember last week down here, we were looking to see if we'd reject this to move lower. It was a valid trade setup because we came out of value, or out of high volume node, I should say, into value. We were looking to see if they were going to get ready to do this. They failed, they reclaimed, we chop again. All right, it'd be the same here. If we hold outside of this, we can look for higher prices. If we hold below this, we can look for lower prices. In here, we expect rotation. But you can set them to wherever you want. This is from Jan, but you can set them from the high, yearly high. You could set it from the yearly low. You can use them up just like you would an anchored VWAP. You use them for multiple reasons. There's the squeeze and break. All right, now you're looking good. There it goes, finally going. All right, so LVN holding. And your targets now, see if you can run through sort of 750. We'll get you to 760. Through that, should get you to 800. Through that, if we get lucky, we get a retest of 900 up there. And then Alex will think about getting short up there. Software ripping here. So software's coming up to high of day here. MAG still just at VWAP. Semis through VWAP, trying to get back to previous day low. Higher the better here. All the way up here, I'll think about the short if they come up here. The LVN holding really well. Did anyone take that off the LVN? The same trade we tried here. Did anyone take it again? It's the same trade. It's this trade here. Did anyone take these? Any of those out of interest? Yeah, nice work. Nice work, folks. Those who did, good work. So you want to have paid yourself some into 750, and then you're holding on now. You're just holding on to runners. I would have paid yourself like 50, 60, 70% of it. Hold on to runners. See if you can break out now. 800 and then towards 900 with your final target if they really turn it on today. But as long as you've paid yourself, move your stop into the money and just wait and see if it wants to work. If they can't get this to go, we're going to see the initial balance rotation back in. But we'd like this to at least run out these highs up here first. Right? We'd love to run out some of these highs first, run the stops. Le boubou. Yeah, boom, boom, big boom. It happens, mate. Like I got caught in that as well. I lost $1,000 in that. I think I was risking like $200 or maybe even less. It happens, mate. It happens. It's unfortunate. All right, no acceptance right now above IB. Mag starting to like try and get going here. You want 700-ish to hold. Where did that big seller come in twice? 92s. You'd want 92s to hold. If you can't hold 92s, rotation starts. Alex, I got Bookmap for 1 year with your code. I followed your video on YouTube for the settings, but it looks nothing like your recommendation. It should look exactly like it. I don't know what else to say. What are you missing? Hourly looks very bullish. I mean, it's trying, mate, but again, we're inside of value. Until it breaks and holds over 800, we're not looking for the move to 900, right? So it's just a rotation. Right? Currently, we can't find acceptance above here. Right? So we're testing here, right? This is where the buyers came in and got stuck, right? This is where we are, right? If we do this, maybe we get that and Alex can sell it back down. Under here, we're going to see more pressure. In here, we're building out, aren't we? If we think about this as support and this is resistance, we're building out. $24-hour view up 690, yeah. 694s. Auction the high. Buyers are stuck up there at that auction at the high right now. If they can't get back through 40s here, those buyers will remain stuck. 740s. And it was considerable buying up there. I want to see how they operate here at 740. If they reclaim, then I think they have the chance of moving higher. If they fail 740s here, then I think a rotation starts to take place. But if they reclaim 740s, then maybe they run all the stops out that we were talking about, which we would like to see Remember, I'm waiting for us to get up here somewhere. It's where I'd like the market to come. Mag's caught a bid here through VWAP starting to push. Semis is over VWAP but not pushing. Buyers are stuck at 740s at the moment. If we can't break 740s, they're going to remain stuck. And if we break 700s here, it's going to perk my interest. That's the New York Open. 710s. Rotation starting here if they can't hold 7s. Yeah, 7s clear shelf here. 90s. Oh man, I really, really, really hope this comes up here to offer me a good trade today. Semi's back to VWAP. There's 700. They're trying to absorb 700. So again, the same thing here. We have a big buyer or multiple big buyers caught here. We have sellers caught here. This is the ping pong right now where they make the decision. We come under here. The sellers take a little bit control and leave the buyers trapped. They hold this. The W takes place and they try and finish the auction higher. There are stops that they could do with running out here. I feel much more comfortable to getting short once we break through 800 and push up towards 900 and then, you know, anywhere up there, I feel good about a short. I don't really want to play the rotation today. I'm trying to avoid the rotation. I would like to play an extreme, if possible. Choppy day, yeah. I mean, it's everything we expect. It's everything we expect. How are we doing on the likes? Do you think we can do some giveaways today? Nice if we could. Right, let's say, as always, we do 1,000 likes, we give away an introduction to trading course. We get to 1,200 likes, I will give away an Apex course. Am I in a position? No, I'm not in a position, Martin. I haven't been in a position since I stopped out here. All right, I was long here. Looking for that move. Had my stop here, got filled down there somewhere. All right, I haven't been in a position since. I wouldn't play CFDs at all, Maciel. Easy for them to slip you on CFDs. It's not regulated the same way. I'd avoid CFDs and spread betting if you can. Am I ready for England to win the World Cup? It would be nice. The other side of the draw looks very good. Very, very, very good. I cannot wait to see France-Spain. That would be a fantastic game. The thing with France is they have just got so much firepower, so many stars. If one doesn't turn up, they've got like 4 or 5 who can turn it on. You just think one of them's going to turn it on, right? And most of them have played together at PSG at some point as well, which I think makes a massive difference. What do I think about the Norway match? It was rubbish. It was rubbish. Spain barely scores, yeah, but they score important goals when it matters. And they barely concede, which is more important. You want to win a World Cup, you got to not concede many goals. That's why I don't think Argentina are going to win a World Cup. They concede way too many goals. I'm yet to see them play a good team. That's just me being honest. I mean, I don't think they'd been in this World Cup if they'd played a decent team. I think they'd be out. They almost got put out by the Congo. They could have been put out by Switzerland yesterday or whenever it was, had that red card not happened. Like, they ain't that good, man. if you're conceding that many goals, you're probably not going to win the World Cup. But winning, there's something to be said for winning ugly. Portugal got unlucky. I mean, they didn't turn up this tournament again. It's not surprising. I'm still waiting. I'm hoping price can come up here at the moment. No, Tuchel did not spoil the post. You're too fucking sensitive, mate, if you think he spoiled the post-game vibe. What he said was absolutely spot on. We played like shit. We did. We didn't play good football. He wouldn't have had to make the changes he made if we played good football. If you follow football and you know football, you will know we played bad. Those players will know that they played bad. All he's doing is demanding more out of the players. That's a coach I'd want to play for, right? When they go and watch that interview back, they'll be happy with it. They played with heart. They played with passion. Everything he said, right? They didn't play good football. They didn't. They know that. Didn't Madueke came off being like, I played good football. Did he fuck? Did he fuck? Like, yeah, but the press are idiots, aren't they? The press are idiots. Ignore the press. Don't worry about the press. I love the directness. I think if you're a sportsman, you'll love the directness. I even love the bite back from Jude. I love it. I love it. His passion. Tuchel actually gives a shit. You see him jumping up and down and demanding more of his players. I mean, what would you rather, that or Gareth in his waistcoat standing on the sideline being like, well, should I make a change or not? Madueke's playing shit. Should I just leave him on? I know what I'd rather. Get him off. Ring the changes. Let's have a go. Ring the changes. Love it. Trust me, they all respect each other in the changing room. The coach respects the players respect the coach. It's all bollocks. Anything the media is saying is absolute nonsense. Don't worry about it. The England team aren't sponsored by Labubu. The press may be. The press may be sponsored by Labubu. The team aren't. All right, Mag feeling pressure at VWAP. Semi still holding VWAP. I'm still uninterested. I just don't want to get chopped up here. I really don't, but it looks like we're going to come down and test this node down here now. I'm just waiting for one half decent high probability setup that I can get my teeth into here. Am I trying the new rapid dailies? Yeah, I will try them. I haven't bought them yet, but I will try them. You mean the FZT&x that I did a video for? Yeah. I will try them. I definitely won't be trading them in a market like this. If we get into any form of trending environment, that's the day where I'll start slapping them, because I think that's where we'll make some good money on them. Market's just flat right now. Mag back into its pivot. Semi's still just holding on at VWAP. Back down to this, I think, is liable, and then see if they bid out of it. What number do I put in the coordinates box? I don't put a number in a coordinates box. I anchor it to the 930 open. I use 2 ticks. That's all I change. Nothing else changes. Internal suggesting downside pressure. Yeah, maybe, but like we have to respect this. I can't just not respect this right now, right? Under here, sellers are caught, right? I can't not respect that. If I zoom out, right, I really want to be short around here. That's where we want to get short. I don't really want to be short in the middle of this, right? It's an easy way to lose money. This day is going to require patience. It just is. I know people on stream hate it. They want to be in a trade all the time. They think you got to be in a trade all the time. You don't. You shouldn't. That ain't trading. That's just making stuff up. So it's going to require an awful lot of patience here. Location right now is very poor for a short. Even if it moves lower, the location is poor for a short at the moment. We don't do giveaway on hearts. We do giveaway on the likes on stream. Right? The likes on stream. The thumbs up button under the stream. That's all you got to do. Yeah, I'll use Gex as potential support as resistance if it lines up with everything else. All right, if it lines up with everything else. Like this up here, look at the call wall. It's right on previous day point of control. It's right by many, many daily and weekly levels. All right, this is a big level up here. At the moment, we're just in downside pressure without the ability to break underneath the higher time frame RBS level. And they're still rotating. All right, semis have not moved for 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes, really. All right, semis are stuck in here. All right, IGV is trying to find a bid out. MAG is also stuck. Why does it split them like that? It's so stupid. All right, that's the difference right now. Where can you see the GEX levels in Nasdaq? They're here. What are you talking about? This is Nasdaq. These are them. Right. I'm only showing you the GEX levels in Nasdaq. I'm not sure what you mean. If you mean QQQ, then you'll have to pull up QQQ and put them on. But they'll line up with this. They pull the data from QQQ and basically put it on the Nasdaq. That's exactly how it works. But basically, your big levels on QQQ today are 15 and 25 and 26 and 10. Yeah, so they found a bid at 15 for the moment. That's your first put wall. Your biggest put wall is down at 10. Your neutral zone and call wall are 25 and 26. And we're nowhere near that, obviously. How much easier is trading NQ in Asia and EU? I don't think it's necessarily easier. I think recently it's given some nice moves, but you know, historically, if you go back 5-10 years, you know, we don't really do that much overnight. It all depends what's happening. Exactly, washing machine, guys, washing machine. This is why I'm like patient. All you have to look at right now, all you have to go is be like, okay, where are we? What do we need to wait for? An edge. Where are we right now? We're at point of control of this whole range. Is there edge here? Look at this point of control. Can you, if I zoom in, do we have point of control and edge? Where do we have an edge when we're not in balance, right? Right, we've got no edge here. Buyers and sellers agree on price there. Right, we have some edge here and some edge here. We have absolutely no edge here, which is why I'm trying my best to leave this alone right now. What's my thoughts on DRAM? Well, DRAM offered the pullback. We're just going to have to see on earnings, mate. The earnings are going to really matter. Really, really, really matter. Yeah, I'll post the one of you asking about the options. You should get a discount with this. That link I just posted should get you a discount if you want GEX. All right, software coming for high of day. Mag still at VWAP, semis above VWAP. Earnings do not matter so much as Trump tweets. They matter a hell of a lot more than Trump tweets, trust me. The earnings this season are going to matter so much. I don't know if you guys have been around long enough to understand that. The moves that we have done in this market the last 6 months, if earnings don't meet that anticipation, is going to be a problem. If they blow out earnings after the consolidation, we're going to fucking rip on this market higher. They really matter. It's what everyone's waiting for. Everyone's waiting for the semiconductors and the new capex spend on earnings. That's exactly what we're waiting to see. Does it live up to expectation or not? Has demand softened? Do earnings impact NQ? Oh my God. You've got to be rage baiting me. No, they don't. The 100 companies inside the Nasdaq, their earnings have absolutely nothing to do with what might happen to NQ. Nothing. We don't worry about any of the semiconductors, about any of the Mag 7 earn. Who cares? Who cares if their capex spend is absolutely massive and we underperform and demand softens? It's not going to affect the index, is it? It's never going to affect the index. Do you guys know what you're trading? Do you actually understand what you're trading here as the index? Do you understand how it works? I don't know. We might win the Premier League even though we've lost every game. It doesn't matter. We lost every game, but we're the champions. That's effectively what you're saying. Oh, you guys are funny sometimes, honestly. It's amazing, though, because I think some of you genuinely don't understand what Nasdaq is. You don't understand what the index is. You genuinely don't understand. You're trading a vehicle that you don't understand, some of you. It scares the life out of me. Why would you buy something that you don't understand what it is? It's crazy. All right, more buyers got very, very aggressive there at 720. This tape's not looking particularly nice here, folks. All right, if I just zoom this out. All right, undoubtedly, we have sellers underneath 80s today stuck. All right, sellers underneath the 80s, definitely the low of day auction looks good. Any buying pressure which seems to keep stepping in at 690s and above, we're not seeing follow through on. All right, we just can't see follow through today. right? We're not seeing downside pressure follow through. We're not seeing bid pressure follow through. So if we lose value, we probably chop again for a while. Slow grind up, but not really at the moment. I mean, they're trying, yeah, but like we're just inside. We're just inside value. We're inside value. We're back inside previous day as well. That previous day low. I mean, if we're going to do a breakout day, right, then really they need to stay heavy versus this. Right, this is previous day low. Heavy versus this is the possibility to break to here. Heavy under that is the possibility to break to here. Remember, this is previous day's low. Right, we're now starting to protect previous day's low. So if they protect previous day's low, what we're doing, we're going back inside. Right, back inside above here. That's what I'm waiting for, to see if we can come up there and then offer a sell opportunity. I just think there's a lack of edge here at the moment. There's edge down here and there's edge up here. I just don't really want to trade in this. I will do my best to avoid it. And if that means no more trades for the day and we don't get up there, then so be it. Have I heard of alpha futures? Yes, obviously. I've heard of them. Do I recommend you trade with them? No, obviously, because you don't see their logo under here or here, right? Never partnered with them. Shiny object. If you got caught in them, I'm sorry to hear that. If you're part of Flow Zone Trader and you got caught trading with them, you can just message me. I'll get you a free Apex account. All right, breaking out here on software to the upside. Semi's trying to find a bid. They're back through VWAP. They're trying to come and retest previous day's low. That's quite a big under over there, previous day low for semiconductors. Mag still under VWAP. Rotation continues, right? So software in a pump and everything else flat. Bookmap compared to GEX, your thoughts? How can you compare them? They're not comparable, are they? One's an order flow tool, one's just options levels. Like, they're not comparable, even in the slightest. It's like saying, what do you prefer, pizza or wine? You can't compare them. Can't compare them. Used for different things. And the churn continues. Semi's coming back into VWAP. Mag trying to retest its VWAP if it can get a bit of an upside lift. And software now above initial balance is all about whether they can hold a bid here on software or not. If they lose the bid on software, it's going to come back down inside its range. Another big buyer has just stepped in here at 700, currently under pressure. Yeah, people leave the stream because they get bored, because they think you have to be in something all the time. But I would question what's worth being in at the moment. The long here was the long, we got washed out. Maybe some of you took that again and you look good. But other than that, none of these stops have been popped. I would imagine at some point these guys will get run out. It would just be much better if we lift first, run these guys out, and then come back. That offers good RR. That's what I'm waiting for. If it can do that, I'm interested. Half an hour left here as well, running out of time. How many screens? 4 screens plus a tiny little screen for YouTube, but 4 trading screens. Thoughts on Mano playing? I got no thoughts. They obviously don't like him. I heard they were training him at right back. They obviously, Tuchel clearly sees something he doesn't like in training. Otherwise, he would have given him a go. How about McGregor? You're blowing his knee, mate. Fuck McGregor. How about Paddy the Baddie? How about that? How do you like me now? Did exactly what he said. He's going to dive at me. I'm going to tap him, make him tap. Choked him out. What a performance. Paddy's a beast. What now? What now? What fucking now? McGregor ain't fighting again. That's over, man. He's too old. His body's given up on him. I watched it with my wife and I said to her, I was like, I know that feeling. Like, I feel sad for him, but I know that feeling. Your body can't do what it did 10 years ago. It can't. Walk away, mate. Hundreds of millions in the bank, nothing left to prove. Don't ruin, like, you've already ruined your legacy. Don't ruin it anymore. Just leave it, man. Leave it. By the time he rehabs and gets fighting fit again, like, way over the hill. He's done. It's finished. Yeah, Max had the easiest payout of his career. He did. I wouldn't have he was celebrating it though, like it was a big win. I'm like, mate, I wouldn't celebrate. I'm not even a Connor fan, but I was like, I wouldn't be celebrating that. What are you celebrating? You did nothing. You literally did nothing. Did I like him in Roadhouse? No, he was awful. You can't act for toffee. An awful film. I was gutted Jake Gyllenhaal did that. It was a terrible film. Scousers don't get KO'd, son. I'd rather be happy and fat than skinny with a 6-pack. He's a ledge, man. All right, software continuing to push here. All right, software, your green one, it's continuing to break out to the upside. Mag still flat, and this has got a long way to claw back. Maybe we should change. Actually, I'm just thinking about this. Instead of SOXL, maybe we should do SOXX, because it would be equally weighted and it would look closer to the others, or it makes no difference. There we go. That's a bit better. That's probably a better chart now to look at. There you go. So software breaking out, mag trying, SOXX still way down. Yeah, you can trade gold on Apex. Metals are tradable. I'd say 680 to 720 is kind of more like the range. Right, it's like this is your edge at the moment. If you're talking about like just scalping, it's not something I'd like. I think we'll come down here. I just want to see that first. How'd you like me now? Pressure coming here a bit on ES at the moment. Remember, previous day low is sort of 75. That's your like inside outside bar moment, right? Which we're testing now. So if they let go of this, we go back outside bar, and I think we'll wash right back down if they let go of previous day low here. So I'll watch this carefully. So if pops start to fail here 85s, maybe I'll have a little go at this and nibble. Worst location, but maybe I'll have a nibble if they pop and fail 85. 85 to what's this player here who came in 97.5. Let's see. Let's see if buyers push and get trapped here. Have a little look. Software still breaking. Mag looks like it wants lower. SOX holding view up for now. Is it 85? Missed my fill there. Got caught looking at the other monitors. This might be it, folks. It might start drifting down to 50s here. Missed my fill there, unfortunately. So it wouldn't surprise me if they reject 85 to 97. I'll try and draw this for you to see this move here. All right, fill this in, and if they let go of that down here, I'm not in it. It would need to reject up here. I've missed my fill. Oh, and I'm drawing now while watching. All right, let's see then. Here's the push towards 85. So I'd say 85 to 97, they will need to trap buyers in to sell. Semi's still holding VWAP. IGV still holding. Mag doesn't look too bad here. I'm not in yet. I'm just waiting. There are sellers all the way up to 20 at the moment. It's way too high. That'd be the other side of the range. VWAP's flat. Let's see if they fill this guy up to 700 and then trap the buyers and sell it instantly. And then I'll have a go if they do. Here they come for him. All right, I put piece on there on that lift. Need it back under 80s and sharpish. Risking 97s here only. If they reclaim 97s, then I'd anticipate they go the other side of the range. Right, here's the 80s. You've got to come back under 80s now and show me that we want to move lower. And if they hold 80s, I might cut early. Very hard trade this. I fucking hate range trading. Here's the 80s. Can we get through this? Still they're bidding 80s. They're bidding 80s and selling 700s at the moment. Semi's held VWAP there. Don't like that. Mag starting to curl. Come on. Nice. Want 80s to stay heavy now that we've done this work. And I want to get back on the previous day low here. And then move down to 50. And that would be my scalp down to 50 if we can get it. Here we go. 75. I want 80 to stay heavy here on any pop. Don't want reclaims here. Break even here. Out. Tried to give it a chance. They've held previous day low again. So ate that break even. They should have broken lower under previous day low there. They didn't. So I don't sit in it. Give it a chance. Could have taken, I don't know, 10, 15 points or something shit. Was looking for 50 points. Looking for the move to 50. Might have one more go if needed. Software still pumping. Still new high of day on software. Mag's still holding up. Semi's still holding up. So Mag's under VWAP but holding up, like glued there or thereabouts. Semis are over VWAP but glued to it. Software's pumping. It's just pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing, and it potentially is going to come for the move to 94s here on software. But I just cut that too early. Still absorbing previous day low. This green line is important here. And they can trap down here into 57. So if you break here, you want to cover some into this move. I'm out of this now. Unfortunately, didn't see what I wanted. I wanted to see follow through quickly. Do we have one more go? Maybe we have one more go. Don't look very pretty. Semi's VWAP again. Previous day low again. Previous day low again here. Do they sell 80s on a pop here? They're not walking down, these sellers. I want to have another go here if possible. It's going to come now. They're going to go straight to 50s, aren't they? Timing's off. Right, they repaired this low. Anything below this, you're looking for a move to 50, folks. Oh, man. That was it. That was scalpable, that. Took the BE on it. Semi's under VWAP. Let's see if they see pressure here versus 70s now. There's a seller here at 70s. I want to see this seller hold the market down. Here he comes at 70s. They filled in. They're going to go straight back to 80s then. Semi's finding a bid on VWAP again. This pops and fails here, I'm in. If this pops 70s and fails, I'm in. Why is he sat at 75? You got to come down, mate. Don't sit at 75. You're going to lift it up. Don't play games at 75. Come down. All right. He pulled 75, went 66, got filled, came back to 70s. What are you doing here, mate? All right, I'm in here. I'm small. I'm against this buyer who's stuck at 70s. I'm trying to get down to 50s. There's a 50 lot buyer at 70s. There's a seller playing a little bit of games on the tape. I think we're about to move lower. So I'm looking for a fill down to 50s for a scalp. And then I'll try and hold runner underneath that. And there's lots of liquidity building at 35 to 15s at the moment on the tape. Here we go. Here's the move to 50s. This seller's being a bit of a plonker here. They're bidding 50s. I'm just looking for a fill down here on a partial. I'm scalping. I'm see money, take money. Can we fill the little imbalance down here into 47s would be good. Here's 50s. Don't be a dick for a tick here. All right, I've taken a little piece there now. Stops at 70s, and we'll just see if they're willing to break lower into VWAP here, or maybe even if we get lucky down here. If we stop out at 70s, we stop out. That's where the buyer's trapped, so I'm just trying to play his pain right now. So you can't be short. If they break 70, you need to cut it, all right? Or in my mind, that's the cut, because that's where the buyer's caught. So we need him under pressure. Nice. SOXL rolling over. MAG rolling over. This is good. Alignment's pretty good here. Just depends how low they're going to let us have it. Into the high volume node now. So we expect chop in this area down towards 27s. Big buyer coming in here. Hopefully he gets caught as well. It's a little imbalance here. Just be prepared for this to lift up to 70s. Make sure you've got your stop in the money, or that you've paid yourself some money. Nice, beautiful. Right, let's see if we can get a runner to go now. So I've been looking for 627s down towards 590s here. Beautiful. Finally, we got something to fucking go. Wow. Finally, nice rotation here. Semi's looking good. IGV still holding on. It'd be nice if MAG wants to break this little pivot into 67s. That would really help. We would love 56s to stay heavy here. It might need to lift to 70s, but we'd love 56s to stay heavy here. Here's VWAP, so make sure you've paid yourself at least something. And this high volume node likely rotates now. Yeah, the Tyson trade, yeah, you're right. Initial balance to VWAP just worked. And we get this runner to go. There's a little imbalance at 26s down to 20s. See if we can fill him. They might need to repair 57s here. So they might come up for 70s first. Runners only now. IGV pulling back as well. Okay, we've got alignment here. Everything starting to pull back at once. This is really good for our short. Who's this player? 56 and a half. Okay. Might come up for 57s here. Mag trying to find a bid low side of its range. Still in this at the moment, but I'm expecting them to come up to 57s here, maybe even 70s again. And I'm expecting this low volume node to be protected again, as it has been all day. Remember, this is the high time frame low volume node, and this is the low time frame low volume node. So we expect this to be protected. Yes, we expect them to try and do this in here. If they don't do that, we get very, very lucky if they go risk off. And we've got 10 minutes till lunch, so make sure you're paying yourself into these levels, please. Here we go, coming for this little imbalance down here now. Imbalance is down to 23s, 26 to 23s. Just trying to see if we can come a little bit lower for the runner. Semis are starting to break down towards 170, which is good. We've got a pivot down there. Mag as well, right into its pivot. I think we need to lift 56, 57s to 70s for a test before we break lower at the moment. They might need to just pop it up first, retest those buyers and confirm that sellers do actually want to go rotation lower. We're about to find out. We're almost in this imbalance here. Here we come, tapping the imbalance now. If we can break through this low volume node, we can try and get down towards 590s. Here we go, folks. All right, imbalance filled. Let's see, 610s to 590s is the next cover. Nice. Almost at 610s. Can you get me a fill down there? We would like 28s to stay heavy here if possible. Certainly want 35s to stay heavy. Here's the 170 set test on SOXL as well. Mag rolling over, about to break its little micro shelf here, which would be good on a 5-minute. I want this to stay heavy at 35s. Now, if we reclaim 35s, I might cut this and then re-add if we fail 60 to 70. So here's the 35 test. This matters. If we pop this, I'm going to cut it and then re-add a new position higher. Just take the profits, just sort of scalping my way through this today. See money, take money environment, right? We're in a high volume node, high time frame. Okay, outlist now. We'll see if they come and complete this auction to 56 to 70s. And if they resell that, I'll consider a resell. If they get through 56 and 70 and hold, then there's no more selling opportunity. It means we finish the rotation. Oh, you fuck. Get higher first. Big seller just jumped in the tape here after I've just got out of my position. He just came flying in at 40s and 30s. They're testing him again. See this LVN here. It's very, very important here, folks. Here we go. Congrats to you guys. I'm out of this, unfortunately. Oh, man, that's annoying. It's annoying. The top of the blue box, these are your cover points. This blue box down to value area low on the current session. So basically 610s to 590s you want to be covering. Mother clucker. Mother clucker. Here's your 610s. Here's your 610s. So 610s, 590s. Under that is night market. Oh, I'm upset at myself there. That was overly defensive from me, I would say. And basically now you want 30s to stay heavy. Every pop to 30 you want to stay heavy. All right, they've done a lot of hard work down here. You do not really want a reclaim of 30. This shelf. You want all this to stay heavy now. IGV back into initial balance. 170 check here on SOXL. Mag into an RBS zone that it broke out of. Here comes the lift to 30s. Now, I'd say if they reclaim 30s, be done with it, because they can then come and finish the auction up at 56 to 70s, which is where I wanted to get reshort. If they reject 30s, you can sit in this. Just remember, fair value for the day is at 80 right now. All right, so you expect them to try and hold that. Here's the 30 test. Ideally, they sell this for you. Otherwise, they're going to come up 60 to 70. That might be me done. There's only 7 minutes left, so I don't know if I want to take another position. All right, good rejection of 30s. Hopefully you can get a break lower here. Hopefully you get a break lower here. Why not jump in another short now? Because I've lost position. Right? Why would I want to short the support system? All right. So lower time frame, this is where buyers want to protect. Higher time frame, this is where buyers want to protect. I don't want to short into an area where I expect buyers to try and protect it, do I? No. We got short here once we saw the turn start, right? Once we saw the turn start and buyers start to get stuck, we short and we cover into this. You can be runners for below. We can short down here, but we don't start a new short position in an area where we expect the market to try and be bullish from. That's just basic common sense, isn't it? Basic common sense. We also know that for me, 580 right now is POC, right? For me, this is fair value. So if buyers and sellers agree that this is fair value, right, we can short down towards this. We don't start a new position here, because remember, the easiest moves in this market are when the market moves out of balance. Now, you can argue this whole thing is balanced. I will agree with you, but let's just assume, right, this is premium price. We sell this back down. This is, on TradingView, is value area low. For me on NinjaTrader, it's actually POC. So anywhere in here are covering points. And it might need to reprice a little bit higher before it moves lower. It might not. It might be that 30s rejects, but I've lost my position now. Remember, our position was up here. Yeah, 1,000 likes for the free course giveaway, 1,200 likes for a free Apex account. I can't afford TradingView the plus, so I have to do it on another contract. My data, value area low, value area. CME data has got nothing to do with TradingView Plus, mate. You should be able to get this if you have live data. Congrats if you're still in this. I hope this breaks down for you. Just make sure you've paid yourself something. Be in a scalp mentality right now. But SOXL's breaking 170. Mag's holding on for dear life here on its pivot. Again, I'll take you over to this. Look at the difference. All right, SOXL is finding downside pressure. All right, these are your semiconductors. They're coming back down to here. Mag is holding on for dear life at this neutral zone. IGV has pulled back. Where are you? To its initial balance high. All right. So software's pulling back to the highs, but for that moment in time, we had software pulling back, mag pulling back, and SOXL selling. This is why we got good sell pressure lower. How low would I keep a runner? Well, if you can break out of 590, you can look for low of day, and potentially today we retest previous week's value. All right, let's just measure this out if we are going to get a expansion model on IB. Yeah, so I'd say 424 to 370. You're going to have to see, the only way that happens, right, is if you trade under this, first of all, and wash these stops and see continuation. And then maybe you get down into this. This is your put wall. This is previous week's value area low. This is a measured move from IB. You will only get that if you get through. Remember, where's our expectation where we cover? We're covering here. Why? Value area low for the current session. Low volume node for the current session. Low volume node based on previous week. We know that buyers will do their best to protect this price. This is an RBS zone. All right. I'm going to remind you why we keep looking out. Why someone said, why would you not short here? Let's go to the hourly. I would say, why would you short here? Right? Why would you short here? That's what you need to ask yourself. Why would you short there? That's why I would not short there, right? But if you're short up here and you covered some, you can try and get a runner into this. And then we expect this to be very hard to trade through, right? Big chop in there. But we've moved back into it. The other thing I should say, we've moved back into an outside bar now. Remember I said inside, outside, inside, outside, right? We've gone outside, all right? And we can try and stretch. This is the 2026 value area high right now, which we're coming down towards, right? It's 450s basically, right? Remember, if we lose this, potentially downside pressure in the market, like we talked about in the newsletter. If we think about this, where's my fib gone? You're covering it up on you, right? This makes sense. This move here, if we break, only if we break and we stay lower. If earnings are bad, if the war gets really bad again, if we start having to bomb, we can look for this move back here. All right, we'd look for that, and then we'd try and bid that up for Q4. That's what I'd love. I don't know if we get it, folks. I can only trade what's in front of me, but that would be nice. It would be really nice. All right, and I can show you my scoreboard now. And it's not the best because I got to slip that big boy one earlier. Here's my scoreboard now. Not so bad. A few of them not traded yet. Thank you for the blessed means. Right, lunchtime here. Let's see if you can fill now. So you're covering most of your position here. 90s now hit. Remember, 610s to 790 to 590s is your main covering point. If you see weakness below that, potentially you get a rotation down here. But this is, you should be out most of your money here, folks. The main position has come in. And we should have got, I don't know how many points did we get there, folks. We got all right there. You got almost 100 points on that scalp. It's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty much 100 points there on that scalp. That's pretty good going. Finally, we got something to go. How many of you've locked in some profits there, made up for the awful day? We managed to get something in there. Nice. Yeah, dubs in chat if you got it. Nice. Good work, folks. Good work, Pappy. Good work, everyone. Nice work. I said nothing crazy. Same with me. Nothing crazy. We're in a range. We're not going to get anything crazy unless we move outside the range, right? The 200, 300, 400, 500 point days, that they're gone for now for the easy money during the New York session until we move outside a range. All right, so first reaction there at 90s. A reminder where we're coming back into. These are where the sellers started to get stuck earlier. I'm going to get out of here in a minute. Just think about all these sellers here. All right, we pull this across. Right, these sellers are stuck. So if they're going to get out break even, this is where they're going to get out. Now, to see real sell pressure, you're going to need to move under these players down here, right, underneath value, and start extending range lower. The lower day auction looks pretty good. It doesn't look very bad. So it's not, I wouldn't say it needs repairing. It's just very simply going to be, are we going to go risk off as a market? That's all it's going to be. But I'll be out most of my position into here. And you can see why, right? We filled the LVN. Yeah, we filled the LVN. We expect this to hold. This is fair value. If it breaks lower for you guys, fantastic. But your main job has been done there. All right, we take base hits in this market. Just needed to be patient. Alex, Bookmap sits 655. Yeah, 500 lot there, 655, which is where, see that LVN? Yeah, he's just sat up here on this shelf. And he's probably a liquidity provider, to be honest. Unless he's a buyer who's desperate to get out if it comes back there and he's trying to attract price. Right, maybe you see that. But remember, what's your rotation today? That's your rotation today. Right, all we've done is wait for one side to fail and then get involved down to the other side. If they bid this up, they're going to come back all the way back up to this side to test. If your runner goes for you, right, I'm going to get out of here now, but if your runner goes for you today, you're going to need acceptance under 70 and 50s, right? So acceptance under 570, 550 might get you to lower day of 490. If you get a 490 crack, you want to be out 90% of your position into 422s, all right? Why? Because that's value area low from last week. That's dictating cheap price based on last week's value. Underneath that, we're actually very thick, right? So unless we shift as a market dramatically, right, this is a tough node to get through in one go. So if you break this, maybe you get that. Maybe then we see this later today or tomorrow. We're just going to have to see, folks. We're going to have to see how we set up this week. Day by day, trade by trade. It's all we can do right now. Yeah. All right, folks, that's it for me. Did you get me there on the account? Let's see. 16 likes away. Let's do it anyway. All right, let's do the course giveaway. Introduction to trading course. Just type course once in chat. Looks heavy, man. Hopefully they break this lower through this node for you. IGV rolling, well under VWAP now. bring you over here. Right, see the alignment. Semis, selling. Mag, selling. IGV, starting to sell. Great alignment, all right? Much better alignment. All right, let's pull this winner. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm not sure how to say that. Balanth Slogok 4616. Balanth Slogok, something like that. Butchered it, absolutely butchered it. Yo, all right, what's up, dude? Send me an email, please, my friend. info@flowzonetrader.com. Send me a screenshot of you logged into your YouTube. If you do that, I will sort you out with an introduction to trading course. It's only 2 hours long, but if you finish the end of the course, you do get a discount on the main course. No worries, man. You're welcome. All right, did we get to 1,200? We might be struggling to get up there. Do you know what? I'm feeling kind. Chat seemed much better today. So I appreciate your good energy, and I will repay you for good energy. FZT and chat, we give away a free Apex account here. Just type it once. Remember, FCT right now will get you 90% off on Apex. If you do want to trade the trailing drawdowns right now, they have a very, very cheap activation fee. Otherwise, standard activation fee for the others. If you want to watch my video on Funded Next, they're also pretty good, 50% off this week. I think there are some more deals. I'm just going to check now for you. It's still 40% off with Take Profit Trader, no activation fee, code FlowZone there, and Lucid. Is Lucid working? Can we get into Lucid? Is Lucid down? Lucid seems to be down. Can't even get into it. Maybe an issue there. They've done a post about it. Let's have a look. Lucid should be 40% off using FZT. It looks like website's down at the moment. Now, I did the password reset. I've done all that. It just looks like the whole site's blank screen. They might be doing some work on it. All right, let's pull this winner. Kate Zoo 107. Kate Zoo 107. Oh, congratulations. All right, free Apex account on the way to you. Again, same thing. Send me a screenshot, info@flowzonetrader.com. You logged into YouTube, so I can see it's you. Made a note of your name. And I'll sort you out with a code for Apex. All right. Everyone in Discord, I will see you in there. I'm going to walk my dog now. Just remember, if you are in my Discord and you have been affected by the prop firms which have gone down, just let me know. Apex have kindly said they will give you a free Apex account. Not that it's their job or their prop firm, but they're good like that. All right, folks, and we will be back tomorrow. Just be careful. All right, you can see very, very clearly here. Look, let's just zoom out. Have you prepared for the rest of the day? Right, we are absolutely clearly, this is current week's volume. All right, we can argue it's a B shape. All right, it's a B shape, but we're in the D of the B. In this session, we're definitely in a D. We're going to keep rotating this. Downside pressure, if it comes, will need to come outside of this now for this move. Upside pressure will come over this to retest this, and then I expect sellers to come in. These are the areas which I'm interested in, higher time frame. All right, until then, we're in Scalp City. We're in Scalp City. All right, everyone. I wish you well. Have a great day. Hopefully you've made some money with me. Sorry about that Trump tweet. Can't do much about it. I know probably some of you got clapped with me on that, but there we go. I wish it didn't happen, folks. It's part of trading. It sucks, but it's part of trading. All right, everyone. Peace and love. Remember, make sure you're subscribed. Turn that bell on. I'll see you tomorrow morning, 9:15 New York time. Peace out. Use hard stops. All that good stuff.